There's an echo. All right. So, shalawama, everyone. Scholars, I am Dr. Yasafa from Zion Law School. Welcome to this live stream. We're going to discuss who is this cloven-footed bastard that we hear about historically, this evil, wicked person. Who is this person? Is it Satan the devil? As we have heard all throughout history, that Satan the devil is a cloven-footed bastard. That's the way we typically have heard of the devil referred to, right? Other times we hear the devil referred to as a cloven-footed goat. Okay, so it's either a cloven-footed bastard or a cloven-footed goat. So who else is cloven-footed? That is the question. Who else is cloven-footed, and what does it mean to you, Yasharala? What does it mean to you? So let's go ahead and get started. I want to introduce first, before we get started, we have a guest who's here to read and hopefully offer an opinion or insight if she wants to. Her name is Vimbai. So Vimbai, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Vimbai. I'm, like the doc said, I'm here to read. I'm currently in Zimbabwe at the moment, so it's very nice to be able to join you on your live. Thank you.
Okay, excellent, excellent. And let me ask you a question. How much do you know about this topic or who we are as a House of Yasharala? Are you, is this basically new to you? Are you familiar with it? Where are you so that people can have an idea of who you are?
So I'm not new to it, but I'm certainly not an expert. I have some understanding of some topics. This particular topic is I think is kind of green to me. I think this will be an education for me as well.
Okay. So give me 1 second, Vimbai. Okay. Give me 1 second. All right. So we have a technical problem. We'll go ahead and do the live stream anyway. Okay. So let me just see if we have audio. All right. We'll go ahead and do the live. So we'll go ahead and do it anyway, regardless. I'll go back and make the changes, okay? Or should we? I'm tired of this. Okay, let's do the live stream. All right. So I'm going to share the screen, and so scholars, we're going to read Ezekiel Chapter 1. We're going to focus our attention on verse 7. All right. So let me pull it up. And we will get into it. All right. So we're going to read out of NIV only because NIV shows up at the top. It doesn't matter what version you look at. It's all the same. Okay. If you understand how to read the verses, okay, all the translations are the same, even though they're using different words. All right. So we look at these through the lens of the Ibriya, all right, which means the original language. We consider etymology and other linguistic concepts, philology, if you will. All right. So Vimbai, let's go through the entire chapter and then focus on verse 7 or emphasize verse 7, okay? Because that's what we're going to deal with in this verse. Okay, so let's get started, please. This is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 1, well, to the end of the chapter, okay?
Okay. Ezekiel's inaugural vision. In my 13th year, in the 4th month on the 5th day, while I was among the exiles by the Kiba River, the heavens were opened and I saw visions of God. On the 5th of the month, it was the 5th year of the exile of King Jehoiakim. The word of the Lord came to Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, by the Kiba River in the land of the Babylonians. There the hand of the Lord was on him. I looked, and I saw a windstorm coming out of the north. An immense cloud was flashing, lightning, and surrounded by brilliant light. The center of the fire looked like glowing metal, and in the fire was what looked like 4 living creatures. In appearance, their form was human, but each of them had 4 faces and 4 wings. Their legs were straight, and their feet were like those of a calf, and gleamed with like burnished bronze. Under
Can you read 7 again, please?
their legs were straight, their feet were like those of a calf, and gleamed like burnished bronze.
Okay, scholars, we're going to focus on 7 after we complete this verse. Their legs, keep in mind, their legs were straight. Their feet were like those of a calf. Their feet were like those of a calf and gleamed like burnished bronze. Their feet were like those of a calf. Okay, let's continue with 8, please.
Under their wings, on their 4 sides, they had human hands. All 4 of them had faces and wings, and the wings of one touched the wings of another. Each one went straight ahead. They did not turn as they moved. Their faces looked like this. Each of the 4 had the face of a human being, and on the right side, each had the face of a lion, and on the left, the face of an ox. Each also had the face of an eagle. Such were their faces. They each had 2 wings spreading out upward, each wing touching that of the creature on either side, and each had 2 other wings covering its body. Each one went straight ahead. Wherever the Spirit would go, they would go, without turning as they went. The appearance of the living creatures was like burning coals of fire, or like torches. Fire moved back and forth among the creatures. It was bright, and lightning flashed out of it. The creatures sped back and forth like flashes of lightning. As I looked at the living creatures, I saw a wheel on the ground beside each creature with its 4 faces. This was the appearance of the structure of the wheels. They sparkled like topaz, and all 4 looked alike. Each appeared to be made like a wheel intersecting a wheel. As they moved, they would go in any one of the 4 directions the creatures faced. The wheels did not change direction as the creatures went. Their rims were high and awesome, and all 4 rims were full of eyes all around.
Okay, let me scroll down. Okay.
When the living creatures moved, the wheels beside them moved. When the living creatures rose from the ground, the wheels also rose. Wherever the Spirit would go, they would go, and the wheels would rise along with them, because the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. When the creatures moved, they also moved. When the creatures stood still, they also stood still. And when the creatures rose from the ground, the wheels rose along with them, because the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. Spread out above the heads of the living creatures was what looked something like a vault, sparkling like crystal and awesome. Under the vault, their wings had stretched out one toward the other, and each had 2 wings covering its body. When the creatures moved, I heard the sound of their wings, like the roar of rushing waters, like the voice of the Almighty, like the tumult of an army. When they stood still, they lowered their wings. Then there came a voice from above the vault over their heads as they stood, lowering with lowered wings. Above the vault over their heads was what looked like a throne of lapis lazuli, and high above on the
Oops. Yeah.
there we go.
Okay.
I saw what appeared. Hold on, let me just start from 25. Then there came a voice from above the vault, above their heads, as they stood with lowered wings. Above the vault, over their head, was what looked like a throne of lapis lazuli, and high above on the throne was a figure like that of a man. I saw that from what appeared to be his waist up, he looked like glowing metal, as if full of fire, and that from there down he looked like fire, and brilliant light surrounded him. Like the appearance of a rainbow in the clouds on a rainy day, so was the radiance around him. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. When I saw it, I fell face down, and I heard the voice of one speaking.
Okay, excellent. So it was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the capital Lord. So we know that that is the Tetragrammaton, right? Capital Lord is the Tetragrammaton. So we know we're talking about deity here, all right, in the vision. Now let's go back to 7, the beast. It says their legs, okay, their legs were straight. Whose legs? The beast. Their feet, whose feet? The beast, were like those of a calf. That's what we're going to focus on. All right. So let's visualize this. Let's visualize, see if we can get some artist depictions of what we're looking at. All right. So, which is easy to do, we'll just go to Google and type in Ezekiel 1 beast. All right. And we'll see what images we have. Just to visualize it, it'll make it easier. Then, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can.
Do you see the beast?
I do.
You see images of the beast?
I
Okay,
do.
so I'm not seeing it. Hold on. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know if you're seeing the same that I'm seeing on my end. Everything is blurred, and I only see the text.
I can see 5 pictures, 3 are black and white, and 2 are colored.
Okay, so you see them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks. So I will proceed. So let's take a look at some of these beasts. All right. So everyone get a mental image of what we're looking at. So are we looking at 4 separate beasts or 1 beast? Right? Are we looking at 4 separate beasts or 1 beast? That's the question. Y'all decide. All right. You all decide. Let's see. So just take a look at what we're looking at. All right. So we're visualizing the beast. Okay. And you all can do this on your own. These are revelation beasts. All right. So here's a visualization of it. This is what I want to show. That's it. All right. So, okay, here we go. Too bad it's not bigger. Can you see the feet here, Vimbai?
Yes.
You see they're cloven, right?
Yes.
The feet of the beast is cloven. So the question is, why is the Tetragrammaton associated with cloven feet? I think most people in the West associate cloven feet with the devil. Is it so in Africa, Vimbai, or no?
I'm not sure. There's. It's definitely not associated with the Most High. But I'm not sure that we sort of talk about. It's probably not a good thing. I'll put it
Okay.
that way. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Very good. And that's kind of like the point. This is kind of like unknown to most people. This is unknown. This beast is cloven-footed. Cloven feet, again, are associated with Satan, the devil. All right. So now let's go back and look at another image. All right. The most famous cloven-footed image is, scholars, y'all should know this, the most famous cloven-footed deity is the Baphomet. If you said the Baphomet, you are correct. Now let's take a look at the Baphomet. All right. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So this is the Baphomet. Now, this is the Knights Templar. These are people who did our people tremendous amount of damage, a tremendous amount of damage. Let me see. I had an image up. I want y'all to see. Give me 1 second. I had an image with his feet showing. Let me close this out. Let me go back. Something happened with my image. Let me go back and try to pull it up. So what I'm trying to show here is that there's a relationship between the Baphomet and the Tetragrammaton. All right. That's not meant to offend anybody. It is just what it is. Okay. It is what it is. And let me try to find that image. I don't know why the image is gone. All right. Oh, here we go. I think I got it. And nope. All right. So my image is gone. Give me 1 second, y'all. Bimbai, why are you so quiet?
I'm waiting for the image.
You're shy.
I'm waiting for you to destroy my beliefs.
Well, not destroy, not destroy. What's going to happen is that you will come closer to the Most High by coming closer to, by appealing off those things that are Jeremiah 8:8 occurrences.
Yeah.
Why in the world is my image gone? Okay, let me try something else. 1 second. Baphomet, Knights Templar. Yeah, this is the deity of the Knights Templars. And the Knights Templars are a group of people who really, really did us major damage as a people. This is the one who, maybe we can work with, well, that's black and white. Let me find color. The Knights Templars are the ones who use law. They use law and their military to destroy us. You follow what I'm saying, Bimbai?
Yes.
They use law, public policy to steal our land and also to enslave us both physically and mentally. It was through these priests, actually. They're actually a clergy. Initially, they started out as a renegade clergy of lawyers and judges. Okay. So let me find it. We're just going to have to work with, I found one, it's not good, but we're going to work with it. So let me go ahead and share it. Let me see what this is called. All right. Yeah, I got it. I got one.
Okay.
All right. So let's pull it up. Give me 1 second, y'all. I just gotta find it. Oh, is this it? 4 living creatures, yeah. Is that it? No.
I think it's interesting that you say that they've used their laws to sort of enslave people or destroy people, and they're still doing it today, where they set laws, in some place in Europe, and the rest of the world must just agree and follow suit to whatever they say. You know, like now they've sanctioned Russia, and if you're not found to be sanctioning Russia, you're now also a problem person. So I think they're still kind of doing it.
Yeah, still doing it to this day, to this day. So y'all see, this is Baphomet, right? This is the Baphomet. You see its horns. You see the pentagram. This, throughout history since its inception, has been identified as an evil, or rather the devil himself. Okay? We see the pentagram in the forehead. We see the goat's horns. Y'all see that? Goat's horns here. Pentagram in the forehead. One arm up pointing to the sky. Or actually, we're going to go through an article to show, well, if we have time, we'll go through an article to show what this symbolism is. All right. We see one hand pointing up, one arm pointing down. And notice one arm is looking muscular and one is looking feminine. You see the breast, right? But look at the feet. You see the cloven feet?
Yeah.
Everybody, scholars in the audience, y'all see this devil figure has cloven feet. Cloven feet. All right. Now let's go back and look at the image of the 4 living creatures so we can do a comparison. All right. Let me pull it up. The 4 living creatures image. Okay. So here we are. Is it showing Bimbai?
Yes.
All right. So here it is. I'm not able to blow this one up for some reason. But can you, everybody see the cloven? Do y'all see that?
Yeah.
Y'all see it? All right. So now the beast and the Baphomet. So in other words, this image that represents the Tetragrammaton, Yahuah, Yahweh, Jehovah, every variation of the Tetragrammaton, YHWH, is cloven-footed. It's cloven-footed. The Baphomet, who is the devil, according to Christians, right? Both are cloven-footed. So what does it mean? What does it mean? And what are we to think? What are you to think if you have been calling on Yahuah, Yahweh, Jehovah, any of the various forms of the Tetragrammaton? What does it mean to you in your life? Let's consider again a verse. All right, we're going to take a deeper dive into this. Okay, we'll go back to the English. All right, we'll go back to Ezekiel, the verse that we looked at initially. Okay, we're going to look at that to refresh your memory about the verse. How you doing for time, Bimbai?
I'm good.
You're good for time. All right. Okay, here we go. So again, this is Ezekiel Chapter 1, verse 7. All right, so we are here. Verse 7, look at the highlighted part. It says, their legs. Now, are we dealing with, if y'all take note, verse 5. It says, and in the fire was what looked like 4 living creatures. So were they 4 living creatures, separate physical bodies or separate bodies, right? It's a vision. Or were they 4 living creatures that were connected? Okay, one body, but it looks like 4 living creatures. We showed some images. That's for you to decide. All right. Verse 7 says, their legs, the legs of the living creature. So when we look at there, is that talking about plural? Or how are we to understand, scholars, there? What does there mean? Their legs. Oh, say it again, Vimbai.
I would say plural.
Plural, yes. Okay. Their legs were straight. Their feet were like those of a calf. We visualized it, and we saw a cloven-footed beast. We visualized it. Now we need to understand first what is meant by there. Okay, so now let's go back and get a precise meaning of the word there. Let me pull it up real quick, okay? So let's pull up there. All right. 1 second, and I'll pull it up. Hold on. All right, here we go. I got it. Everybody don't get spooked out, okay?
If I just disappear from the session, you'll know what's happened.
Okay, so here we are. The definition of there. We're coming out of Merriam-Webster dictionary. All right, definition of there. Would you like to read it, please?
Definition of there. Number 1, of or relating to them or themselves, especially as possessors, agents, or objects of an action. Their furniture, their verses, their being seen. Number 2, his or her, his, her, its, used with an indefinite third person singular, and it, what does that word say?
Or antecedent. Anyone
Antecedent.
in their senses, his or her, its, used with
Okay.
an indefinite third person. Now, okay, so if it's his or hers or its, that looks like singular, right?
Yeah.
So that's the second definition. In the first nuance or meaning, it says of or relating to them or themselves, right? So that seems like it's plural, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially as possessors, agents, or object of an action. Okay, so now let's work with this and see what we can come up with. Let's go back to the verse. So in the case of his and her, you see where I'm going, Vimbai?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew you would. All right. So we can replace this, right, with him or her. Okay,
Yeah.
him. It could be his, right? Because his is a variation of him, right?
Yeah.
His legs were straight. His feet were like those of a calf. Okay. Here they're putting there. It appears to me that they are indicating something ambiguous. You don't really know what they're talking about because it can be one or it can be plural
Yeah.
possessive. Everybody, scholars, y'all take note of that, okay? Take note of that. It's a small nuance, but it's going to have meaning when I show you this, if you can see it. If you don't get cognitive dissonance, and which is okay because it happens. But some people may be blinded when they see this. Some people may be blinded. Or maybe you'll get upset, but don't worry. If you get upset, it's okay too. It's normal. So now we're looking at Ezekiel Chapter 1, verse 7 in the interlinear, Strong's number 7272. It's part of speech. We see conjunction wa, which is and. The NFDC is noun, feminine, dual as in plural, common. Okay, noun, feminine, dual, common, and it's third person, masculine, plural. So it's third person. Okay, it is third person. Now, Vimbai, would you mind reading or would you like to read the definition, the Strong's definition of this word, please?
It hasn't come up on my screen. I'm still seeing the verse.
Okay, so you should see a black box. You know what? It's not showing up on mine either. You know what I see on mine? Well, let me see. All right. I'll go ahead. I'll read it. All right. So here we are, Strong's number 7272. 1 foot, 1A, foot, leg, 1B, of capital God, anthropomorphic. Let me read that again. 1B, of capital God, anthropomorphic. So this is talking about deity, Tetragrammaton, of capital God, anthropomorphic. 1C, of seraphim, cherubim, idols, animals, tables. 1D, according to the pace of, and in parentheses it says with preposition, 1E 3 times. In parentheses it says feet and paces. So scholars, you can see that you can render this, well, one of the meanings of this word is foot. The other is leg. The other is of capital God. So now in the verse, Bimba, you'll note that it says their legs, right?
Yeah.
It could also say their foot, right?
Yeah.
It could also be rendered their foot. It could also be rendered of capital God, or and their, let me repeat that, and of their capital God. Could be either one of those, right? We'd have to flush this out and make some decisions as translators as to how we're going to render. But we see how this translator rendered, okay? We see how they rendered the word. So again, it can be and of capital God, or and of their capital God. The next word would be foot or feet, right? And of their capital God, feet. It could be rendered that way. It could also be rendered as seraphim, cherubim, idols, animals. But we know it's not talking about idols and animals. Okay? There was no mention of a cherubim or seraphim, but there is mention of deity, right? Capital God was mentioned toward the end. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's say we rendered this and of their capital God, feet, straight, and soles. Okay, now see how this is rendered now? It's the same Strong's number, same Ibriath word written in biblical Hebrew characters, right? Same part of speech. Okay, do you see it? It's the same, right? Strong
Yes,
7272. Strong 7272. So here, the first time it's mentioned, it's rendered their legs. The second time it's rendered of their feet. Right? So the author is taking liberty. He's translating however he wants to do, the same as we should do. That's one of the points I want y'all to see. Now, if you render this of capital God, it becomes clear that the deity has cloven feet. You follow me?
Yes.
All right. The deity has cloven feet. All right. The deity has cloven feet.
Could the use of the word there, you know how royalty sometimes refers to itself as plural?
Yes, you're exactly right. So in this case, it would be the people are familiar with the word Elohim. So Elohim is plural, right? So are we talking about many Elohim or one Elohim who's so powerful that you have to pluralize him?
Okay.
Right? That's very common usage of plural in Ibriath. So yes, very good observation. So that would fit very nicely in here. Okay, it would fit very nicely in here. Or you could put what? And his of capital G-O-D. And then you just have to strike out the his, right? Or you smooth it out to make it flow in English. Instead of there, you could put his. All right, because there means his.
Yeah.
As we thought. So this is what I wanted to kind of bring out. This is really fun stuff. If you are willing to learn linguistics and how to deal with etymology, philology, and so on and so forth. So let me invite you all to go to, let me pull it up. Let me invite you to go to Zion Law School and subscribe to the 101 Ancient Ibriath course. All right. This is going to, so go to zionlawschool.org, click on course offerings. You're going to see a purple ad for the class. This is a streaming course, streaming online course. Okay. So click on that. This is going to get you on the path of being able to render, translate, understand linguistics, understand etymology, and you'll be able to do what I just did. All right. Not only will you be able to do it, but more importantly, you'll be able to spot the opportunities to do this. Without the skills and without the concepts and knowledge, you won't be able to do what you just saw me do because you don't know what you're looking at. And I'm not trying to be harsh or condescending, but it is what it is, right? You need to learn linguistics. Okay, you need to learn linguistics, and this is your opportunity. $1 for 1 day trial, no doctrine, $10 a month. So it's really basically almost free, right? You can cancel anytime. Everybody's invited to come Saturday, 9 a.m. to the Curses course. Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're invited to come for free and observe our Curses course. Jerice, good to see you. Jerice says, great teaching. Appreciate that very much. Appreciate that very much. Yashe says, Shalom, Shalom. Good to see you here. Very good to see you all here. So everybody's invited. Free classes, Saturday, 9 a.m. You'll see demonstrations, the whole class, on how we use etymology, grammar, various tools, so on and so forth, to educate you. It'll be transformative. I can guarantee you that. And it's not going to cost you anything. So to support us, make sure you register for the Saturday 9 a.m. class. All right. If you want to support, share the video, like the video, subscribe to 101 Ancient Ibriath on zionlawschool.org. Buy our books, zionlawschool.org. Go to products. So buy our books if you want to support, or you can give a donation. All of this will be in the description area of the chat if you want to do any of those things. So that's all I have to say, Bimbai. Anything you got?
I actually wanted to say that it's interesting that you should focus on linguistics when the focus now is on trying to get everybody into STEM.
Into STEM, yeah.
So we want everyone to do science, technology, but not linguistics. We don't want them to understand.
Yeah, and one of the reasons, I'm sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
I was going to say that if we don't have that, we can never decipher any sort of hidden anything in the language. So
yes,
I thought that was interesting.
Yes, you become crippled in terms of law. If you don't understand linguistics, etymology, philology, you become crippled in law, because law and history go together, scholars. Law and history go together. So they have crippled us by teaching us, one, history outside of the context of law. Okay, so law, history, and in the middle of that, if there's a guiding hand, it's social engineering. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you don't understand social engineering, and then law and history goes together, and you can uncover and you can project what's going to happen or what did happen in history, or what policies cause what, or what a policy will cause, you're in big trouble if you don't understand social engineering and how it relates to law and history. Y'all follow me? So when people are only focused on math, well, okay, you become a very educated slave if all you know is math and science. You become a very good worker, right? But you're going to be subject to their policies, right? So
Yeah.
this is the importance of linguistics, philology, etymology, all of that. All of the stuff we talk about at Zion Law School, all of the stuff that we're dealing with in our astrotheology video series, right? Where you're getting to see these demonstrations and applications of philology and etymology using the Greek and the Hebrew, right? And you guys see how powerful that author is presenting information. It's very powerful.
Yeah.
Okay. Vinbai, you have anything you want to say about any type of products or services or businesses you might be offering in the future, or you don't want to discuss anything now?
Not at the moment, but when I'm ready, I will definitely let you know.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I appreciate you
Yeah.
agreeing to read for me. You know,
It was
your voice
fun.
sounds so good when you read. I love your accent. I think everybody loves your accent, you know.
I don't have an accent. You have an accent.
So when we hear your voice, we love the way it sounds. You
Thank
know,
you.
yeah, in the
Thank
Americas, we love. I'm sure Yashe loves the way Vimbai's voice sounds. Jerice too. I'm sure they do.
very much.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So, Scholar, thank you for spending this time with us, and we'll be back uh, at. See, Jerice says, "Yep, he also likes your voice, Vimbai." See.
Thank you.
So we're going to be back tonight. Tonight is Friday. I think 9 p.m. Let me make sure. We'll be back at 9 p.m. for astrotheology. Yeah, 9 p.m. We'll be back at 9 p.m. for astrotheology. I'm going to drop all the links in the chat. Yashe says, bueno. So he likes you too.
Yay.
Music to the ears, right? Music to the ears.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be back 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right.
Okay.
So shalawama, and thanks everybody. Much appreciated. We'll talk and see you all soon. Let me run this banner real quick.
Shalom, Doc.
All right. So I'm gonna cut the live stream, y'all, and see you all tonight, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shalawama.